no doubt that the youth of the United States have always been at the forefront for social change. We have seen time and time again that whenever people come together and understand their rights and are no longer afraid, that change happens. Laws change. For many years now, students who are undocumented have been advocating strongly that they have the same right as anyone else to get a job and get an education. Every year, 65,000 undocumented students graduate from high school. And every year, the aspirations and the hopes of those high school students crash into the reality of not being able to go to school. Not because they don't want to, not because they're bad students, but because they don't have a piece of paper. The DREAM Act started out as a very simple piece of legislation. If you were in this country and you graduated from a United States high school and you're a good student and you wanted to go to college, then you will have legal status in this country. It was a very simple and very humane way of approaching the situation of hundreds of thousands of undocumented students who wanted to excel in academics. The bill was very positive, but then politics got involved. And suddenly, we began to see things like, if you want to go to a university, you could go to a university, but you will not qualify for federal financial aid. You will have to pay out of your own pocket to go to college. And if you cannot afford that, then your other option is the US military. And that's why we began to see interesting allies supporting the new incarnation of the DREAM Act, like the Pentagon. Then the DREAM Act changed even further. Legislators began to say, well, not only do you have to pay out of your own pocket, but in order for the DREAM Act to pass, we have to get rid of in-state tuition for undocumented students, which is incredibly a larger amount of money than what you would pay if you were a legal resident of the state. So that became even more complicated for undocumented students. So suddenly, the path to a four-year institution became filled with obstacles. And the only clear path that undocumented students began to see was the military. And that's when a big split began to occur in the undocumented community. So, is it really worth to send our kids to fight a war, to get a green card? And the dream that folks had, which was to go to a four-year institution and get a degree, became a much more difficult dream to achieve.
Education!
Do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Education!
Do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
We are experiencing a historic moment in the United States. And it has to be acknowledged that this is a movement of folks who are straight-A students, who are taking a bunch of units in college, and who still have the time and the passion to march, to protest, to travel to DC, to advocate, to lobby. I've seen how they're passionate about this. I've seen how they are willing to commit to even get deported. Risking deportation is what they're doing. Being separated from their families and leaving the only country that they knew behind and sacrificing all that they knew for this movement. And the message that we're trying to send is, we are going to grab you and take you away from your family and throw you across the border to a country that you know nothing about. Let's give an opportunity to our young men and women to remain in this country. This is their country. This is their community. This is where their families are. This is where they envision their future. This is their home.